Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today we're going to be diving into a update patch V0.17 patch review. We're going to go through it, read all of the new stuff, the changes, and give my thoughts. So, introduction, greeting champions as the dust settles on our momentous open beta launch. We thought it'd be grim to go... okay. We're excited to get back into regular game updates and deliver on those big content releases we teased earlier this year in Robbie's Pred Talk. With that said, however, V0.17 is a smidge smaller than some of our other updates. This is because V0.18 will include a highly anticipated 6th slot, as well as a bunch of all new items and drastic rebalance of the entire game. So first and foremost, all new items. That's very exciting because I didn't know we were getting all new items with the item change, and a drastic rebalance of the entire game, which to me says rebalance of the item system. Like, a lot of the items are going to be cut up and changed, to say nothing of all other significant features it'll release with. So we don't know what else it's going to come with. The next one sounds kind of like a banger of an update, but we'll see. I will say this, because I think that this sentiment should be shared by most. I don't know why they would release... Like, this is my problem with the way they did free-to-play release. I think that free-to-play release should have came with something, and I hate that it didn't, because it doesn't make any sense to me. Personally, free-to-play should have released either with this item change and this 6th item slot, or it should have came with a new game mode, because it would have been like a big, like, oh, open beta's here, here's this big new thing. As for the item change specifically, it's like all of the console players are like, you're all the, not even just console players, all the new free-to-play players are learning the game and learning the items, and they're literally just about to change. I just think it's like really terrible planning, but alas, this is good for the game, I promise you. So, you know, to everybody that's inconvenienced and it's gonna have to relearn everything or learn again, that's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. That said, however, V0.17 does break in the binary, bringing up not just 0, not just 1, but 2 new targets to shoot. Oh, god damn it, these fucking jokes. Grim.exe isn't all, however, we're thrilled to add an ability to set per hero casting options. This is really good. It's basically, you can change your quick casting, instant cast, or like normal casting per hero. The funny thing is that I'm the kind of player that plays instant cast all the time anyways. I think for people that don't want to do that, and you know, you're gonna change the settings, more like autonomy for the player is always good. So you'll be able to change your casting settings for different heroes. That's really, really good. You should have the ability to change settings for different heroes in most games. Overwatch is like a perfect example of this. Like, there are some characters I just want different crosshairs on and different settings on, and you know, that's not really applicable to this game per se, but it is good. So I'm excited about that coming to the game. And then new skins. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So new hero appears. Engage kill mode with Grim.exe. The grizzled gremlin and his personal sentry combat robot.exe or robot.exe are ready to engage. Utility caster, I think that's a really interesting way to describe him, whose ranged flexibility lends itself to offensive plays and defensive plays alike. Whether you like to tearing up the battlefield with powerful precision or controlling combat with strategic, slow, and disruptive displacement, Grim.exe has a mode for the job. So, hero overview. I'm going to read it first, then I'm going to watch it so I have an idea of what I'm looking at, because I actually haven't watched this yet. Abilities: Pulsefire passive effect. Grim.exe's basic attacks are modified to deal magic damage. Huh. Keep in mind, I know nothing of Grim.exe from Paragon. I really haven't looked into him. So Grim.exe basic attacks and abilities apply Pulsefire to enemy targets hit for 4 seconds. The next basic attack or ability will burst the Pulsefire and deal 10 plus 20% total physical power, 20% magical power bonus true damage. So he's got some dual scalings. Pulse Cannon ability basic attack is effect. Range basic attack is 52 plus 90% bonus physical power, physical damage. So his basic attack is bonus physical power, so you have to build physical power most likely on him, and then it says that it's physical damage, but I'm assuming that this overwrites that. So even though it just reads like how it normally reads, it says Grim.exe's basic attacks are modified to deal magic damage. So it's like, this is just for consistency, I'm sure. Displacement primary. Oh wow, they have a little video for each. That's cool. Yeah, Displacement Blast primary, we'll watch it in a second. CD 1210 or 1211 1098, cost 60 rising to 100. Effect: Fire and Empowerment shot forward that deals 90, 130, 170, 210, 250, 70% bonus physical power, and then 75% bonus magical power damage or magic damage. And in assault mode, the last shot is lobbed and it does magic damage. Okay. In assault mode, the shot is lobbed and displaces enemies away from the center of the explosion. So let's watch this. Oops, I have my headset, not, that's the source. Let's watch this. All right, so is he like a stance switcher? I'm gonna find that out soon. Okay, cool. So it's like a grenade displacement. So again, he scales with both bonus physical power and bonus magic damage. This ability is doing magic damage, and his auto attacks do magic damage, but scale with physical because that's how all autos work. So he's got modes. I don't understand the modes just yet, but we're reading through it. Sentry mode, assault mode. So this is your mode switch, which is your secondary ability. 0.25 seconds, cost 0, so you're just switching in and out of it. Sentry mode, basic attacks restore 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. Assault mode, pulse cannon shot costs 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20 mana. Deal 15% total physical power, 20% magical power bonus, magical damage on hit to apply a 10, 12.5, 15, 17.5, 20% decaying slow for 20%. Holy shit. That's actually kind of a nasty slow. For like almost a second. That's pretty good. So let's take a look at this. I know I'm not full screening it, sorry, I don't really want to. So it just modifies, right? Sentry mode, assault mode. Okay, so this is the mode. Sentry mode is you restore mana. Assault mode is you apply a slow, and it costs mana. So you're going to be like kind of dancing back and forth between the two modes. Deflector shield is alternate. It is a CD of 26, 23, 20, 17, 14 at a 0 cost. 0 cost. That's crazy. Grim.exe activates a shield for 1 second that blocks the next incoming enemy ability. Okay, if the shield successfully blocks an enemy ability, Grim.exe restores 20, 25, 30, 35, 40% of his missing mana. So you can like tap yourself out, right? You could like tap yourself the fuck out and then like really time this ability and like you're back in the fight. GTFO is the ultimate. Okay, first of all, I gotta watch this. Let me see how that... It's pretty fast resolving, so, you know. I like the voice line there. Okay. All right, GTFO Ultimate is a 90-second, 75-second, 60-second cooldown at a 100 cost. Grim.exe slows himself by 60% and locks onto an enemy hero. After a short channel... I know Soul Reaper's so pissed. After a short channel, a GTFO, Gyro-Targeted Force Orb, is launched. The orb will pass through the world and non-hero units, but can be blocked by enemy heroes. So you can body block this. This sounds like... This makes me think of Pyro from Kael'thas and Heroes of the Storm. It seems just like a lock-on. You just cast it. I wonder what the casting time looks like. The orb deals 250, 450, 650, 120% bonus physical power, 90% magical power, magical damage. So he's doing mostly magical damage, right? Like he seems hybrid. I'm not going to pretend like I know what build people are going to run on him. I also don't know what he's going to feel like with like attack speed. There could be something to like a magical damage build here. It's all going to come out in time when people play him. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, that takes a little bit. That actually kind of comes out pretty fast. Interesting. He seems like a very interesting hero. I really don't know what to expect from him. I'm not a carry player, so I feel like I don't have the foresight for that kind of thing. I'm not going to lie. He seems pretty annoying to play against, so we'll see what that feels like, but also somewhat diveable, so we'll see. We'll see. Store news, we got a new Shogun Wraith skin. Looks pretty sick, if you ask me. I mean, yeah, this looks sick. This really, you know what this looks like? This looks like an Apex Legends character. This straight up looks straight out of Apex, which I think like kind of captivating that art style. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then Shogun Countess, which I think this is interesting, right? Because I don't know if this is a Paragon skin. I know the Countess one is, but they look a little different because like this one looks like very traditional Shogun style to me, where this one looks like tech Shogun. So it's interesting because it's like Shogun, but they're kind of different. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. And then we got Silver Ghost Kuang, which is, it's okay. It's cool. We need more content. This game needs a lot more content, so happy to get more content. Hot Rod Grim looks pretty cool. I like it. Why not? Why not? And then we have some new bundles, which so far I don't know how I feel about bundles, because bundles are cool, but if like you're only ever going to lock the additional content behind the bundle, I think that might be a little bit of a mistake. We still have yet to see an implementation for the usage of Amber for additional content. So I mean, again, I'm always of the like, hey, let the player choose what they want kind of thing. Like, I think you should put this bundle in the store. I think that you should put for Amber or money, maybe both. I think that you should maybe have like an emote shop and or in a spray shop and sell content there too for Amber or money or both. Um, I don't know. I'd like to get some community thoughts on that because again, I'm definitely of the feeling like if you make things attractive to the player where you can basically buy anything, all you need is a lot of content to make good money, right? Like if they don't create a lot of content, then they're going to lock it behind paywalls and make it to where you can't really get it for free as often. Again, even still, we're still waiting to see what the plan for Amber is. We really don't know. Um, but yeah, Hot Rod bundle is going to come with the hero, whereas these are just like oh, these bundles actually do come with a hero too. I don't really know the cost of them, but that's pretty cool. I guess if you're a newer player, these bundles will probably be somewhat attractive for the cost, assuming that they're probably pretty decent. So I don't hate the bundles. I think the bundles are good. I just wish they also sold the content on its own. Per hero cast options, we already kind of talked about that. This is really good if you want the that kind of a fix. Controller, I'm gonna kind of glaze over. Whatever controller players, if this is good for y'all, let me know in the comments. I will never touch a controller in this game. Let me know if this is good, if it's something that was necessary, if you're super excited about this. Give me that perception so I can think like, hey, that was a good addition. But it doesn't really do much for me. This I did kind of glaze over earlier. Very excited about CC immunity window. They lowered the CC immunity and it's a nightmare. Raising the CC immunity window to 0.35 seconds should feel much better. We're humans. We have human reaction times. It's going to be really good. All right, let's take a look at the hero balance changes for Argus. If Argus is still proving to dominate the battlefield with his early game pressure and how hard he scales throughout a match, once again, we're reducing the potency of his Dread Nova ability to reduce the strength of his early trade patterns, especially in support position. Likewise, Synaptic Obliterator hits extremely hard in later stages of the game, borderline killing targets from full health with a few items. As a result, it's also seeing a reduction in its magical power scaling. General health decrease from 620 to 605. Dread Nova primary damage decrease 80, 105, 130, 155, 180 to 70, 95, 120, 145, 170. Mana cost decrease from 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, or increase, sorry, to just flat 80 constant. And Synaptic Obliterator, the ultimate, is magic power scaling decrease from 30% to 25%. So I have a kind of thought about the fundamental issue with Argus. This may make him unviable. I'm not saying that that's my hypothesis. It may do nothing to him. My hypothesis is that he has a fundamental design flaw. I think that his kit is overloaded in his design. So changing the numbers on a kit that's fundamentally flawed is not really going to do anything. Like you could change the numbers and kill him from the meta. That's absolutely possible, right? Like you could make his ultimate do nothing, like literally 0 damage, and of course that's going to kill him from the meta. But it's not going to change the fundamentally flawed kit. So I think that sure, this is like an easy step to balancing him, but I think it's like the worst way that you could go about balancing him. And we're going to talk about this kind of style here in a little bit. So personally, I would have loved to see them say, hey, we're removing the CC from this ability. You know what I mean? Personally, I think that would have been a better way to handle him than just yoinking some damage and making his costs a little less efficient. So, but we'll see what it does in the long run. Drango's ability to blow up a target once he unlocks his ultimate is too consistent due to his overall damage output, especially in kill lanes where he's paired with CC heavy heroes such as Richter. To ensure Drango has to work a little harder for his kills, Shrapnel Cannon is losing some raw damage. I think that this is like a small change. Like it's a pretty small change. It's definitely a nice bigger nerf in the early game. You can see that versus like a 5 damage nerf towards the late game and a 10 damage nerf towards his mid-game ultimate. Yeah, he's pretty problematic. I personally this is also another one of those like fundamental kit changes. It's not so bad on Drango. I just hate his grenade. I think the fact that you can like lob his silence grenade from downtown, and I get it's a grenade, but to me, I don't like it. I think that again, for me personally, I would love to see his grenade either be changed into like a long range throwing incendiary grenade or like a short range kind of silence device. Like, yeah, sure, it doesn't necessarily go with his style, and like maybe you would have to change it from a grenade. Like you can fundamentally change Drango. Just because he's a Paragon hero doesn't mean you can't change him. I do think that his silence grenade has been kind of a fundamental issue with Drango for me personally. I really am not a huge fan of it. It's really hard to counterplay around, but that's my take personally. All right, Gideon, let's see what's up with Gideon. Gideon's black hole ability to receive a quality of life improvement aimed at increasing its fluidity and reducing frustration, and with now activating immediately With it now activating immediately when used, this removes the confusing case where Gideon's ultimate is interrupted but able to be recast immediately, and resolves interactions such as the true silver bracelet shield not activating instantly when the player uses the ability. This has been a quality of life change that's needed to happen for quite a while. Very excited about this. So now Gideon can't get his ult canceled and then ult again, which is great. That's awesome. That's a skill, to not get your ult canceled or to put your ult in a position where if it does get canceled, you are trading that for something. Grug's ability to run down his foes from minute 1 makes him a menace in the off lane. By reducing his initial bleed damage and durability, Grug will have a harder time stat checking his opponents in the early stages of the lane, with more heroes able to hold the line against his early pressure. Conversely, he is receiving a decrease to his smash and grab ability cooldown to grant him a more uptime in fights. Yeah, if you nerf this character when he's kind of just like a Ooga Booga run at him character and don't find some kind of a compensatory buff, I think that would almost crush him. So he's getting a small health decrease, bloodlust passive damage decrease from 5+3 per level to 3+3 per level. So a little bit of a nerf on the bloodlust passive, and then smash and grab is going to go shorter in cooldown by a bit. We'll see how this feels on him. I do think he's a little goofy, but he's not like super out of line in my opinion, so I think this is a nice small change. Again, Scourge is struggling to bring the heat compared to many other mages, especially with his lack of upfront damage. A small increase to his Molotov scaling should allow him some extra burst. That sounds nice. 45% to 50%. We'll see what that does. Kuang, big boy Kuang. We'll see what's going on with him. After the previous rounds of balance, Kuang has begun to settle into a more comfortable position as a durable diver disruptor. With his damage output more reasonable and tankier builds, his baseline durability is still on the high side. However, so he's getting another durability decrease to nudge him further into greater parity with other heroes. General physical armor decreased from 32 to 30. Physical armor growth decreased from 4.8 to 4.5. So a little bit less tanky on the armor front. And then Light of the Heavens alternate shielding is going to be health decreased from 7% to 6%. So we could see a meta where like a slighter bruiser version of him comes out, because you can't necessarily rely on him to be full tank. I think he may just still be played tank. I don't think this is going to change him too much, but it will make him a little less frustrating. I think those are good changes. All right, Lieutenant Bellica. Given how strong she scales in the late game, Lieutenant Bellica often has too much control in the early game, able to shove and pressure most matchups comfortably, allowing her a smooth transition in the later stages of a match. While there are other mechanical factors at play contributing to Bellica's power, there's a fine line when it comes to diminishing her laning strength. Give her short range and more control-oriented kit. Making Bellica too weak in the early game can result in her being unable to keep pace and ever achieve relevance. For now, then, she is once again receiving a decrease in her ability to outshove opponents, with a decrease to her base attack speed and void bomb damage, alongside correcting her ultimate's magic power scaling, as we overshot with the last set of changes, with the net result of the changes between this patch and the last patch being a sharp decrease in her overall laning presence post first recall. So general attack speed decreased. I thought I read that as increased. Attack speed decreased from 130 to 125. Void bomb alternate damage decreased from 75, 120, 165, 210, 255, 75, or 2, 75, 115, 155, 195, 235, and then neural disruptor ultimate's magic power scaling decreased from 65 to 60%. This is exactly what I'm saying about Argus, in my opinion. I think that she has fundamental kit issues, and that changing her numbers is like, yeah, sure, it'll shuffle her viability around a little bit, but you're not fixing the hero. Her knockup is stupid and should probably be changed, and her ultimate is a lock-on kill button. And so, again, you can kill her from meta, and honestly, I really want to see a patch. I'm very much so in line with Soul Reaper's thinking on this. I don't know if he said this about this patch. I haven't seen his thoughts on this patch specifically. But I would really love to see a patch where they just fucking kill her. Like, kill this fucking character out of the meta, fuck her off into oblivion for like 2-3 months, and then work on bringing her back in a healthy way. This character fucking sucks to play against. She's picked, banned all the time. She's a constant menace in the meta, has been for like over a year. It just sucks to play into her. And, I think that having the CC immunity change will help a little bit, but her stun comes out fucking instantly, and her ultimate is a damn auto lock on kill button. And so, yeah, this character sucks to play against, and I don't think this is going to do too much to her. Muriel's consecrated ground is receiving some extra love at rank 1, better allowing her to defend herself and her allies in trade scenarios, while also bringing greater matchup considerations between her and other duos. So consecrated ground secondary shield increased from 100, 145, 190, 235, 280 to 110, 155, 200, 245, 290. That'll help her out a little bit. I actually think she's kind of sleeper and is pretty good. She just doesn't bring CC, and that kind of relies on other roles, bringing that to the table. Revenant's immobility and fragility leaves him exceptionally vulnerable to the majority of heroes, especially divers. To grant him some additional relevance, he is gaining some additional move speed and physical power growth, better allowing him to maneuver his foes and act as a ramping threat. Movement speed increased from 650 to 655. Physical power growth increased from 2.4 to 3. I think those are going to be some solid changes for him. All right, item balance changes. Obelisk is losing some of its pen, 8 to 6. Ring of Renewal. Potency as a sustained item is offered too much durability, especially when rushed. By receiving a regeneration it offers, wielders will have to think twice about their positioning, as the regen's now more susceptible to being burst through. I think that this is a really interesting change because it pretty much only ever gets built on supports. This item's not very good anywhere else, and even then, a lot of the time, it's not like people are actually rushing this item from what I see. So I feel like this is a very like data-driven change. Which is not always the way that I particularly care for game balance to be done. But sure, like whatever. I don't care. I don't touch this item. I don't plan to touch this item, and life will go on. Same as Obelisk, less pen, less abnormal burst. So magic pen on time flux band decreased from 8 to 6. Time warp with the reduction in cost seen in the last balance pass, further opening up the item to supports. Time warp is providing a bit too much value as a standalone first buy. It's therefore receiving a reduction in mana regen to ensure it doesn't completely mitigate a hero's mana issues as early into the match. I'm going to be honest, I'm so not clued into supports. If this is a meta in supports, then maybe this is a good thing. I'll let someone who actually plays the game competitively and supports let me know. I don't know that I see this too often, but maybe enchanters are building it. I'm not sure. Bug fixes, we'll read them because it's a short list. Fix the bug where Morgesh would not correctly heal when using her swarm at a close range targets. Fix the bug where Kuang could fall under the Orb Prime Pit ledges. Fix the bug where Grux's Warlord Skins channel trail VFX could sometimes play incorrectly. Fix the bug where Fang Mao's Earth Shatter SFX could stop midway. Fix the bug where Fang Mao's Sun animation could fail to play. Fix the bug where players could become soft locked if they left the fountain with the crest screen active. I've seen that one. Fix the bug that caused ability inputs to become unresponsive after canceling abilities that are quick cast on controller. I haven't seen that one. All right, friends, that's the patch. Pretty short one. Again, there are some good changes in here, but this is mostly kind of a meh nothing burger. I think the biggest change in this patch is probably CC immunity and then being able to per hero cast options. I mean, obviously the biggest thing is the release of Grim. Unfortunately for me, that's not going to change the game too much other than playing against it. So we'll see what kind of matchups come out of that and what it feels like to kind of get a little bit divey on this character. But yeah, this is kind of like a 3-week waiting patch for the item changes, which again, I really just, I feel like we've shoved this one back a little bit. From free-to-play release, in my opinion, should have been where it's at. But some solid changes in here. We'll see. It's a pretty small patch, and overall, nothing to write home about, but some good things in here, some good things. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. I still feel like some of the bigger ticket things that I'm waiting on is like, I want to hear some news about Amber. I want to hear some news about the next game mode. Maybe like show off that like they could do some like just like peel back the curtain a little bit every now and then. I really wish the devs did more dev streams. This is basically like a foreign concept to them. Would love to just see what they're working on other than just like a post here and there, even if it's not done. Just like, hey, like I don't know. I have such an interesting take on the fact that like the game was early access and then still open beta, and it feels like they can lean on the it's early access, it's open beta kind of thing a lot. But they also treat the game, its releases and its patches like the game is very much so full release. So I would love to see them, like if you're working on that new mode, maybe they do want to keep it under wraps so they could like show it off like fully as a big drop. But honestly, I would have loved to see them like do some of their play test on stream or something with it and show it off and kind of like pull us into the fold. But that might be a little bit of a sus take. So drop a like on the video, subscribe for future Predecessor content. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. As always, be sure to be kind of whether it's just someone you love them, and I'll see you on the next video. Rap God.